Transhumanism is all I'd like to see, 'cause a transhumanist is all I'd like to be. Take a look at my body, turn me into a machine, 'cause a transhumanist is what I'll be. So now we're here together, and not too long, it's going to be the future. That's right. And now we're here together, and in not too long, it's going to be the future. That's right. Now we're here together, and in not too long, it's going to be the future. Transhumanism is all I'd like to see, 'cause a transhumanist is all I'd like to be. Take a look at your bodies. Imagine what you'd like to be, 'cause soon you could live just like your dreams. Take a look at your body. Think of what you'd like to be, 'cause a transhumanist is what we'll be. Welcome to this small gallery on a block somewhere in Helsinki. I'm André. I'm here to do the performance for the opening of Rappuccini's Daughter, a collaborative effort put together by some local and foreign artists. It doesn't sound like the people can hear us from outside, but it doesn't quite matter, as we'll simply be starting here. It's a pity, though, because I'd like to say your presence here, everyone's presence here right now, is a success. Your presence here is a success. Thank you for having come to contemplate the future with us at this small show on a block somewhere in Helsinki. Your presence here is a success not just because you have come all to see the show, but also because you're helping create this. You're helping create prospects for ideas, desires, and dreams. You're here to come and help see the future. My presence here today is not only to be a performer, but to actually augment your success. In that sense, I will be a guide for you all, but not a knowing guide. I don't even come from Helsinki. Rather, I'll be an ignorant guide for all of you. Someone who can offer only curiosity and a small amount of vanity. We are quite a big group, but I'd like to ask a little patience for you, as today's show is going to spill out of the Sorbus-galleria and is going to go around this block. Indeed, I'm going to guide you, slowly but surely, through different ways, and through a curious eye, and with a little bit of luck with your imagination, across this block on Vaasankatu. I would like to invite you to please take a drink and a gift from the part of the performers, the gallery, as well as the artists. I would very much encourage you to take a drink to celebrate the success of us being here together. Please, Please, the drinks are waiting. We're not going to continue without having made a toast.
And a gift.
That's right. Go ahead. I've already had enough. So as this sort of ignorant guide that I will be for you, I will be here to offer you a different look on the Vaasankatu, on this one block. Has everyone gotten their gift? Good enough. Then let us start.
Almost there.
I would like you to imagine a termite mound, a large structure, a citadel of sorts, something larger than any building in this city. I'd like you to picture it somewhere over here, towering at about 400 meters high. And you know what a termite hill looks like, right? Crude, large structure that it's built itself over time. Largest one is about 12 meters high, but imagine how small those things are. Now, I'm not asking you to imagine a large hill made by giant insects with clay, wood, glued together through saliva, produced by eating fungus. No, perhaps this mound of sorts will look a little different, created by different animals, using different materials through a different process in order to create this giant mound. Something that's going to stay for hundreds of years. I've got this friend. We were flying together to Marseille together. Vacation. And while arriving over Marseille, we were looking out the window, excited to get to our new destination. And we could see how the buildings were constructed in these sort of shapes. Very strange patterns were emerging over and over again. It's not really so long ago that a guy like me could have seen a sight like that and not been completely amazed. And then my friend told me, humans are a very strange form of lichen, aren't they? You guys know what lichen is, right? These sort of fungus plant that grow on tombstones. I'd like you to imagine something else now, perhaps. Do you see how the buildings here are perfectly parallel to this sidewalk? Try to imagine, perhaps, your eyes through mine. Try to imagine yourselves as biologically enhanced by your ignorant guide, looking down on Knife Boulevard, a no-go zone 40 years ago. 12 trees, 4 bars, 2 massage parlors, and an impromptu motorcycle parking, all on the one block that we'll be looking at. So please, come with me. Hi. How are you guys doing? Good. This is the performance for Rappuccini's Daughter, the new show at the gallery just over there. We're spilling out around the block. That's possible. We're thinking about the future. Well, let's do it Jamaican style then. But I wanted to ask you guys a question. We're thinking about the future with the group of people with me today. And we were wondering, well, I was wondering, and it's because I like bars. I mean, bars in Helsinki, but also around the world. And in thinking about the future, could you imagine a future so perfect that there would never be anyone heartbroken in a bar?
No, why would you go to the bar without heartbroken?
I can't imagine one either. You know, heartbreak, true thing, right? You're really mean, you're really mean, but you're not the meanest I've ever seen. You're really mean, you're really mean, but you're not the meanest I've ever seen. You're really mean, you're really mean, but you're not the meanest I've ever seen. I just wanted to talk with you, but you decided to run. And when I tried to speak with you, you squished me under your thumb. Now I can only crawl, I can only squirm. No wonder I look repulsive, like a busted up worm. You're really mean, you're really mean, but you're not the meanest I've ever seen. You're really mean, you're really mean. Come closer this time. I don't want to speak so loud. I have to keep my voice, and I need your help. We're all in this together after all, eh? Looking at the future and whatnot. Please, come closer. I don't want to break my voice. It's going to be too difficult. I want to talk about these buildings. This next block that we're not going to go to. It's too far away. We're just staying on one block, on Knife Boulevard. Before I was talking about all the other things I spoke before, I wanted to talk about something else. And I forgot to talk about it, so I'll tell it to you now, if that's all right. I wanted to say how human beings are one of the only animals that can simulate something in their mind. It's our frontal cortex that can do that. Now, I'm sure I'm telling you this with a lot of confirmation bias, but it does ring true. We're able to come up with something and then try it out in our brain and see if it works, see if it feels good. Sounds good like that, right? It's one of the reasons that we're so successful and spreading like a wildfire across this planet. But we live in a chaotic universe. And chaos creates yearning. Chaos creates something that's incomplete, that we can't fill. And so these simulations, these thoughts, this imagination that we put forth, often comes with something that is missing. And that's where dreams, fantasies, desires come into play. And when I look at these buildings in particular, when I look at the next block, I think a lot how amazing it is to be in our era. To not be in the future or in the past, but to be now. To have images and places where we can somewhat fix these fantasies, somewhat see them existing. In our phones and in different places like this, you can find something to fill that gap. But what if we think even further? What if we imagine even further? What if we imagine past love hotels with different fantasies possible? Or dragon dildos that spray out semen-like substance? What if we think about genetic modification and what that could mean for certain people? Not just talking about changing your gender, but something very much physical. Having a partner who has 2 penises on their nipples, and I have 2 mouths on mine, for a very intense embrace. Or a bouquet of penises. That must be amazing for some people. Going back to the show, we could even imagine a more aesthetic sort of development, turning into a beautiful woman with a long tail, fins on the side, blue skin everywhere, and a pink vagina. Literally Poke-morphing ourselves into something that follows our desires. That must be crazy, right? What an amazing future may await us. How nuts is that going to be? Let's go on the other side. Welcome to Rappuccini's bar. What can I serve you? Rappuccini's daughter's bar, right here. Thinking again about a present utopia, bars have this wonderful ability of creating excitement again. A place where something can happen, a place where we can alter the way we are to become more open. A place where maybe something magical could begin. A place where boredom can be pushed away. Four bars on one block. And yet, the novelty is gone. It's no longer like getting drunk at the yearly celebration when the crops have come in or something like that. We've got it all the time and we've gotten a little bit bored of it, haven't we? And in some cases, people hurt themselves using the magical substance that opens you up to be permanently open, broken open, stuck open. Rappuccini was a scientist, and I'm taking this from the exhibition, and I'm not coming up with it. Rappuccini is the story of a scientist who had a daughter, and he let that daughter spend a lot of time in his garden with a lot of poisonous plants. And Rappuccini's daughter later on developed poison blood, and a kiss that could kill a man. She was pretty much literally the inspiration for Poison Ivy and Batman, if you know the reference. Poison blood. Transhumanism is all I wanna see. 'Cause a transhumanist is all I like to be. Take a look at my body, turn me into a machine. 'Cause all that you dream could be real. Poison blood. The future is pretty uncertain. And it is within this chaotic future and poison blood within all our veins that we're going to continue going down here. Please bear with me, and please try to follow. Yeah. It's a pretty good thing that your blood doesn't turn to alcohol and stay that way forever, right? We just have a hangover. We made it around the block. Come.
Good job, man.
Thanks, bro. Thank you for having been present to present Utopia Little show by André Chapatte with all the people at Rappuccini's Daughter. New show at the Sorbus-galleria. Thanks to all of Sorbus, and thank you for having done the Circle of Knife Boulevard with me. I appreciate it.